update. So yeah, back out here in the garage. Like I said, I went and test drove it Sunday, which today's Friday. So I'm out here fixing an issue that I created. So when I took the transmission off the second time, because I thought something was wrong with the throwout bearing, when I took it off the second time, it actually slipped off the jack as I was pulling it off, and I think the driver's side CV axle might have nicked the seal, because now I have a small drip of transmission fluid. So now I gotta fix that. But other than that, everything's good. Runs good. Tune-up must have fixed everything. I'm guessing it's probably the spark plug wires, because there was so much moisture in there. It probably was making it miss. So that's good. But yeah, the new clutch is crazy. It grabs as soon as you release. I adjusted the pedal, and now I'm trying to get used to driving it again. I think I might adjust the pedal back down a little bit, because I really don't like the feeling of that super high engagement, and I really don't think it's going to hurt anything, but we'll see. I guess I'm going to adjust it down like I had it, to where I can drive the car a little bit better. I'm just used to that. I think it'll be better for me. So yeah, that's where I'm going to get started. I got to drain the transmission fluid, because as soon as I pull that CV axle out, it's going to drain it all out for me. So I'm going to try to capture most of it so that way I can reuse it, because it's brand new fluid. And then we'll get that seal popped out, put the new one back in, and then go from there. So luckily I ordered two, so that's good. So this time I'll try not to tear it up. So let's get to it. Alright, so I got started. First thing I needed to do is take the wheel off, got the wheel off. I was going to try to pull the axle out and drop the spindle and all that, like I did on the passenger side, but I think I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to remove the bracket that bolts the block that has it's between the two shafts, because the driver's side has actually two shafts. It has a solid shaft that just slips into the transmission, then it has actually the CV axle that has the movable joints in it. So I'm going to try to just take those two bolts loose and see if I can swing it out of the way that way. That way I don't have to take everything apart. But I did have the center CV axle nut loose out of the spindle side on the driver's side over here, so that I can just slide it out of there and go from there. But I just want to show you guys what I did see. So I don't know, I guess either putting the shaft into the transmission, or like I said, when I dropped it, or when it fell off the jack, I took the transmission off the last time, I had to have nicked it, because I just got underneath the car and I can actually see a piece of rubber. So I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Alright, so I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is, it's wet there, and that a little shiny piece there, that's sitting right there. It's actually a piece of the seal, so that sucks. So yeah, at least I found the issue. And
So something else that I found, I thought I was having residual power steering fluid leaking from whenever it leaked the last time, because it was everywhere, but it's not residual, because I just changed the power steering fluid and it's empty again. So I went underneath the car as I was taking everything apart, and I'm guessing I'm gonna need to get a new O-ring. I think the one that I'm using is not the right size. Of course, it's for like a kitchen sink, so who would have thought it wouldn't have worked? But at least I tried, and but yeah, I'm gonna try to order one and get that replaced, and then make sure the hose from the reservoir is tight, because that also could be leaking, because I take all that apart. So I did find that, so that's a good thing. So and then I was gonna show you how I found it under the car, and kind of you can see where it's leaking and how it's still wet and everything. It's a pretty bad leak too, so I gotta get it fixed ASAP. So after I get those two fixed, the car will have no more leaks. Thank goodness.
So right there on this power steering tensioner nut, you can see how wet that is. That's where the fluid's running down from the power steering, and it's just everywhere down here. Yeah, it's a mess. So once I get that new O-ring put in there, make sure the hose is tight on the reservoir, and then should be good. So now you guys know, kitchen sink O-ring is not rated for power steering fluid or automatic transmission fluid, really. So what are you gonna do? So you can actually see right here, that's the power steering high pressure side bolt. That's where that O-ring was that I slid in there. It actually fits on the bolt itself, so you can see how wet everything is right there. So it's been leaking, and then you can see that brass line right there at the bottom by that bolt head. That's the
the reservoir line. It's hard piped out of there. So there is a hose. So there is a hose right there. You can see the hose clamp. That's the reservoir fill line. So that's just gravity feed into the power steering pump. So it could be leaking there. I don't think it is. I think it's the O-ring. But I'm gonna double check and make sure it's not leaking there. That would suck. Alright, so I got that seal replaced. Wasn't so bad. I ended up having to drop the spindle out of the way and get the hub out of the way and all that stuff, so I could pull that whole CV axle out. So I got it just kind of set on the side, and I was able to just slide that CV shaft out of the transmission. And I have the seal here, and it definitely had a bad spot in it. I must have clipped it when I dropped, like I said, when the transmission fell, because it was definitely broke seal. So the new one went in nice and easy, and then I was being very careful, and I lubed up the seal before I put that shaft in there, and it seems to be good. So I got it all back together. Now all I gotta do is tomorrow I'll probably fill up the transmission. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna try to go to a parts store, get a new seal for get a new O-ring for the power steering, and then I'll need to get a pump to pump the transmission fluid into the transmission this time. I think that'd be a little bit easier than using my little cheap cardboard slide I made on the last video. So, and I also want to show you the seal that I pulled out, so you can see the bad spot I was talking about. So yeah, here's the seal. You can see right here on the bottom where my middle finger's at, it was like folded over. And then right there, there's a chunk missing. I think that's where the main part of it was leaking, was that chunk. I think that's actually where the transmission fell, and then this might have happened when I was putting that axle back in. Didn't have a very good angle of what I was doing, and actually watching what I was doing, I was actually sliding the transmission onto the shaft. So that was probably my fault there too. So, yep, that's it. So it should be good now. So I got here tonight. Got a couple things left to do. Got that new seal put in, so hopefully the leaks are good on the transmission. So now all I gotta do is fill up the transmission. I got a hand pump this time, so here, I'll show you here. Got this awesome hand pump, so hopefully make it a lot easier this time. And then we can get the fluid filled up, and then I got the O-ring kit, rebuild kit for the power steering pump, so I can fix that leak, and then everything will be done. So that's good. So I'll get those things replaced, and then I also got I ordered some bearings. These are for the shifter, actually, the shifter linkage bearings. So I found these on eBay. I kind of just I guesstimate by looking at pictures and part numbers that I was finding, and these were like $8 shipped, I think, and it took like 2 or 3 weeks because they were from like China. But I got 4 of them, so I only need 2. So we're gonna see how these work. So might get some cheap shifter bearings, and then I got some bushings I'll be putting in eventually too. So that's what we got going on, and then let's get the transmission filled up, and then I'll move on to the power steering. All right, so all done with the transmission, fixed the power steering, got the right O-rings in there, so hopefully it fixes the leak. We'll see. Yeah, should be all good. Everything back together. Got everything tightened up, car back on the ground. So hopefully this weekend we'll go for a cruise and everything will be good. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.